Today we're going mining and we have all this ground to work with. So let's see how stupidly we can screw this up. The first thing we're going to need is a loan with 2% interest, $2 million. And there's a lot of different things out there to mine. Dirt obviously is worthless, but it gets progressively more and more valuable until we find something like platinum, rubies, diamonds, or lithium. To start, I'm going to buy a front-end loader, and we're going to buy the most expensive of which, because it's not exactly hard to get a loan. So that's our loader. And this is where we need to dump ore to make money out of it. So loader plus dirt plus that equals profit. The hardest part of this is actually getting any valuable dirt in here for now. So let's do our best to get in there and get a full bucket of good old-fashioned whatever this is. I don't know if this is dirt or what, but whatever it is, it's got to be worth some kind of money, and we'll just keep throwing crap into here until we get our money. And yeah, I can already think of a few more amusing ways we could be making money. But for now, eat all that, and what do we got? It takes a second to process because it's so valuable, obviously. So that got us $2, so we might want to find some better stuff. I've watched a few other people start digging into here, and there seems to be some higher quality stuff. To be fair, a front-end loader is probably not the right tool for this, but
I'm the wrong tool for most things, so
that's okay. So we'll go ahead and get a nice full bucket there. It would be great if we could find some value here because we already took out a pretty big loan. So in goes the material mostly. Okay, that made us $4,000. So for making $4,000 per bucket, that's pretty good. And I think we could do even better because that one we probably did scoop up a lot of dirt. This gray stuff I think is better. So let's see if we can kind of, yeah, it looks like lots of gray stuff in there. We're getting a bit of topsoil or whatever, so that's fine too, probably. So basically, the faster I could be doing this, the more money I can make. We got 2 buckets of dirt in one day, so that's probably about $10,000 worth, which isn't a super lot, not compared to how much we need to be making. $10,000. I already have a few better ideas as to how we can expedite this process, but I do kind of want to see how big this gray streak is because this is the money streak. Yeah, that was $12,500, but you see what I mean about the topsoil and stuff. But with the way the controls are in this game currently, I don't know if it's really going to be super efficient to try and like not mine topsoil or move it away. I don't really know what I'm scooping up right now. There's definitely some gray stuff in there. So I do want to try and get in there with a little bit of a test stab and see if this is any value at all in here. We're actually able to move a lot of dirt with the front end loader. Okay, that's actually a reasonable bucket. So let's see what kind of value we got out of the surface. 10,660. Okay, so there's a lot of value just sitting right here nearby. So I think I could figure a better way to do this. We're going to leave it over there for now because I feel like there's some better things for the job, like a dump truck. 380,000 because I assume this is going to be the biggest. And then an excavator, which we're also going to try and find the biggest. We have $1 million left on our loan. The 530, the 480, you think the 530 would be bigger, but this one's more expensive, so I'm going to buy the more expensive one. Apparently they're also heli dropped. I would love to see the helicopter that can lift a full-size excavator. So anyways, let's try and find the most efficient way to get the ore from in the ground into the dump spot. What do you suppose the controls are? Okay, that's actually... Oh, okay. Yeah. I see. Okay, so we're going to reach out there and we're going to try and pull some of this down toward us. Okay, these controls are about what I'd expect. If we do this carefully, we go, yep, like that. And then we pull some of the dirt in and then we have a ramp that we're going to drive straight up. Well, it's not the best ramp I've ever built, but it's definitely also not the worst. Can we just climb on up there? Perfect.
Probably the most successful thing I'll do in this entire adventure.
Now to see if my master plan actually has any merit. Even with a parking brake, apparently, the excavator still slides around. So, you know, physics, I guess. But my great plan was to go like this and then get down there as deep as we can to take a big old bucket of whatever that stuff is. Then we lift her up. I expect this to go a lot faster than this. So, yeah. The excavator is continually sliding, which doesn't really work super well because I can't move anywhere without sliding around, and I missed somewhat. Okay, so the excavator really wants to sit on level ground, and I don't really have a lot of level ground to work with, but we'll figure this out together. Now, the front-end loader, for all its flaws, is probably just quicker at moving dirt than the excavator is because you can just really get down in there, and yeah, this is just way quicker. That looks like mostly brown dirt, which is probably bad, but maybe from there you could load it into a dump truck and take the dump truck over depending on how much it can carry and if you have a not set up like this, but you see what I'm getting at. You could even use this little ramp that the game was kind enough to build for me. We could probably, yeah, that actually might work out really nicely. I don't know how much you can hold, but hopefully a lot. Perfect. This is the third bucket I'm going to put into the dump truck. That might make it full, we'll see, but that's a lot of ore so far. That's hopefully worth a lot. But I want to see what this stuff is even worth loading it like this, because I might have actually just mined a bunch of garbage anyway, so this doesn't work. So we'll go ahead and sort of dump that in there. There you go. Oh, okay. Well, whatever. Get in there. Yeah, we missed a lot of ore and it became part of the ground. But that actually is perfect because that'll set me up for the next test. That was only $8,000, so this isn't good either. So we need to take our very janky camera all the way back to the vehicle store. These are really expensive, so we're going to need a bigger loan. $42 million. Why do you get such big loans? I'll take $3 million. I definitely don't need to be buying the biggest of everything so far, but I just figure it's going to make me the most money anyway, and loans are stupidly cheap, so why would I not? This is actually going to have a really big advantage in that it's very simple to operate. Basically, up and down she goes, no problem. And I feel like as soon as I touch any ground and ore, it's going to turn into like the chunks of ore, which are mineable. Which is why it's super great. I dumped all that stuff right in front of here. Can I just push it in? That actually seems to work. Do I get money for that? It does work. I can just push dirt straight in there. It doesn't move as fast as the loader, but that actually has a lot of potential because I can just push stuff all the way across, I think. I don't really know what ground I'm like allowed to mine, so we're going to find out by sinking the blade down, giving a big push. Okay, we might not be allowed to mine this stuff, but we'll scoop up whatever happens to be excess in front of us. Yeah, there we go. Now we're getting somewhere, so we just push all this stuff right on in there. We delivered 35 tons of ore for $0, so clearly that was all garbage. The dozer may not be as easy as I thought it was going to be. Oh wait, there we go. We're getting out of the hole. The camera sort of just moves like on its own a little bit, so in case you're wondering about this angle, that's not me. Okay, I did get a little bit of like gray ore. I don't know if I can like bring it all the way over there, but we're gonna try. A little hard to steer when you're got a bunch of dirt in front of you. There we go. Anything get in there? 8.7 tons of ore were $0 because I'm just pushing out a bunch of garbage. Okay, this obviously doesn't work either. Also kind of wondering how deep we can dig. Like I bet there's some really good stuff down there deep. It would take a while to get there because the controls of this, but it could be done. Maybe we could dig all the way to the center of the earth. But there was a little bit up here. Obviously it looks kind of valuable. I'm not sure which of it's going to land in the actual thing, but that's fine. As long as there's value somewhere here and it's going roughly towards the thing, eventually it'll get in. That was $4,000 just for that. I didn't really even do anything. If we submarine this, can we push down here? This is going to get stupid fast. The game definitely doesn't love whatever it is I'm doing, but I think it's a viable strategy for now. Relatively speaking, we're kind of just designing our own little canyon here, but there's got to be good stuff down there somewhere, and we're going to find it. It was actually starting to push pretty smoothly there for a second. I think we just sort of get overloaded there, so we start to like climb up on the piles of dirt. So basically we're building something of a staircase, but not a very good staircase either. I did also notice this little gray spot behind me. I'm not really sure what that is, but I know that lithium is supposed to be a soft gray material, so I'm going to have to go ahead and test that. Does that look like it's sort of on the stuff? Whatever, it's grabbing something there. It might take a few buckets to get this right. Now, the value of this should be a pretty good indication of what exactly it is we had. Okay, let's get it over the thing. Yep, there we go. Pretty sure most of that made it in. Okay, so far that was worth $0, so I'm not sure what the gray spot was down there, but it's seemingly nothing. Yes, I'm pretty sure this is exactly how you do mining. Alright, got a scoop of what I think hopefully is the good stuff way down here. Now we just got to figure out how to get out of here. With a little gentle wiggling, we've worked our way out of the hole with a big load of dirt. So now let's see if we can kind of carefully get that in the thing, and then we can hopefully find something more valuable than dirt. That loader bucket was worth $150. We're going to need some better stuff again. Now, we can buy TNT, and we can hopefully buy a lot of it. Starting to learn how this works, there is 4 bundles of TNT at my feet. Now, I think if I put the plunger in place of that, I can use it to set it off from a safe distance away, which is, I don't know, something like here. Then, how do I actually touch the plunger? Do I stand on it? Okay, it did go off. It just had to think for a minute, and the dirt just builds itself back again, so that's interesting. It's expanded. I'm a little unsure what to do with the dynamite now. Like, you can set it down very easily. I'm not actually sure how you set it off. However you do it, I've done it because the game's frozen again. It's thinking about all the chunks it now needs to move. And there it went, so it didn't really do anything at all. Alright, well, we're probably not going to utilize dynamite very much. I assume transport for $82,000 is a conveyor, which I've just spent an absolutely absurd amount of money on, but that could make things easier. Okay, here's an idea I've seen attempted that I'm going to try and perfect a little bit. I'm just going to run conveyors from hopefully somewhere valuable straight to the hopper. I know this looks like it's going to be an easy thing in theory, but setting this up is actually going to be really stupidly hard. Alright, several major errors later, I need more conveyors. That means I'm going to take out a $42 million loan. There doesn't really seem to be a big penalty for that, and then an $8 million loan. And I really don't know how I'm going to justify those costs, because I really don't think I'm going to make that money back, but then again, what do I care? One of the advantages I have of doing this is I've watched other people play this game so far, so I've learned from their mistakes. But I also know how difficult this is going to be to make this work ultimately. Part of the problems with the conveyors is you need to start sort of at like the source and build towards your destination. So I'm going to have to kind of guesstimate where we're going to make this work. And I can already see I'm going to have a bit of a hill in my way, so I'm going to try and remove some of this hill. And I don't know, actually this is going better than I thought so far. We're just going to keep pushing the dirt kind of that way and somewhere out of the way. That way I can run a conveyor out into the great blue yonder. This is actually surprisingly going better than I thought. We're definitely building a mountain where we don't want to be building a mountain, but we're also moving enough dirt to make me think this is feasible. Good news, the game crashed and it doesn't autosave, so I need to start this again. So I've just kind of got to make myself a new little canyon to run a conveyor through. This is still a very slow process. But also before getting too carried away, we should make sure this actually works. I've also now realized I probably don't have to dig through things, I probably can go up and over and around them. Okay, seemingly once you get these pointed in something of a straight line, they work okay. That could be a bit of a problem though. Okay, I think I got a solution that's going to drop ore to where it's actually supposed to go. So let's see if I can get some actually ore onto the conveyor and then see if it actually gets to where it's going. That seems to be working. It's moving something along. It's working. It's actually made it all the way around. It's delivering the ore to where it's supposed to go. This is huge. I don't think it's going to pay me until it's done delivering it, and it might take a while to sort through it, but it works. See, all this work so far has gotten us $22. So now we just need to actually find some ore worth mining. The speed of this is so quick, it's hard to keep up. There's a dark patch here on the ground, which might indicate something worth looking for. Well, I haven't really figured out how to use this thing properly yet, but I did see platinum there for a second and magnetite, so there is some better stuff somewhere down there. I just don't know. And there's lithium, which is actually the most valuable stuff of all. This is definitely going to involve some really dumb gymnastics. But then somehow I might have actually lined this up fairly reasonably. Not sure how that happened. So if we just kind of dump it off there, is that going to make it onto the next conveyor? Should we go one more? Whoops. Yeah, that's pretty centered. That'll work. It doesn't have to make sense. And I've already gotten the excavator stuck apparently on that somehow. My other excavator just kind of launched itself as I got close. I'm just whatever. But there is also a tree sticking to my conveyor that needs to go, so before doing anything, we've got some logging to do. Hopefully this takes out the tree. Yep. The first thing that I would like to do if possible is pull up some of this useless topsoil and stuff to build myself a bit of an even spot to sit on, because the excavators in this will slide away constantly. Okay, and that apparently just sort of evaporates the dirt, so that's whatever. We'll just sit on this, and that's going to have to sort of be as good as it gets. Luckily for me, I'm constantly sliding closer to the conveyor anyway, so maybe this will work out for the better. Okay, I did manage to get some on the conveyor for now. I'll clean this up in a sec. I just want to make sure this is actually going to work. We should be able to see, yep, it falls down onto the lower conveyor and makes its way all the way along. We'll make zero money for that, but we made a conveyor that works. Honestly, this might be the best setup I have, because it's somewhat not really level, but I'm stuck, so my excavator won't slide around anymore. Okay, my bucket of ore made it in. I made $500, so our $20 million conveyor investment is paying off. Stuff like that's got to be valuable. Look how sort of gray it is. It's not brown, that's for sure. Okay, I'm losing my excavator pad already also. The sort of physics in this game, especially regarding excavators, could probably use a little fine-tuning. Just my 2 cents, considering it's constantly sliding if it's on even the littlest bit of a slope. But for now, let's just see if we can get this stuff into the conveyor, and then we'll figure out a better way to do this. So that's going to go... I don't know where the bucket is. Is it over there? Yeah, there we go. Valuable stuff. I did just get $1,200 for that ore, though, so like even a weak bucket of dirt is worth $1,200. If I could actually mine this somewhat efficiently, we'd be rich. Oh, actually, yeah. The ore, that last bucket of ore just made in for $14,000. So if we can manage to get $14,000 per bucket of ore, we'd be making money super quick. It's just a matter of getting the physics to work. I don't mean to alarm anyone, but I think I might have built the perfect mine. Since it was such a struggle to dig this stuff up and place it on a conveyor there, I'm just going to bring the bulldozer over and hopefully push all this stuff down to these conveyors, which is eventually going to scoop it up, drop it on that conveyor, and then sell it somewhere over there. So far it's a little bit slow trying to get this thing to actually dig into the ground a little bit, but We got some of the dirt close, some of it did make it on. And some of that legitimately was some kind of ore. I don't know what it was, but we probably shouldn't push too close to that or we might end up breaking it. There's $960, it works. Plus another 2,000 there. Just gotta strip away some of this useless topsoil. There we go. Once we get down into the big stuff, we can really start to move some dirt around. And there's definitely some grayer ore in there. It's gonna be a little hard to work through this, but we'll get there. And when I get some big pushes going, we can actually get a lot of ore over to those conveyors. Haven't been paid for any of it yet, but I assume that's because it's constantly making its way to the plant and won't take a break. There's 5 grand. Depending on how the dirt goes, it's not necessarily super efficient, but so far it's the most efficient way I've been able to mine. We're starting to pile up a mountain of ore right beside too. I need to be able to push it up onto the conveyors. Whatever that was just worth $22,000. Must be a lot of lithium or something down here. There's also platinum as I recall. The hardest part is this really ridiculous angle I'm trying to work at. So I'm just trying to scrape some of this ore stuff out and get into a pile down below. That way I can push more of it all at once. And it doesn't seem to matter whether I'm going forward or backwards. The dozer seems to work either way just fine. There's another $10,000 for whatever I just pushed onto conveyor belts a couple minutes ago. And now we got some more of the good gray stuff coming towards the conveyors. We'll see if we can actually get any of it up on there. But this actually works out really good. Then I'm going to start trenching from a little bit further back because we'll be able to push even more ore all the way over to those conveyors eventually. We're again starting to see some different color ore in the ground, so I just got to keep pushing it further and further that way. Eventually we'll get to those conveyors. But there we go. We're starting to scrape up all sorts of gray stuff again. Now I just got to start bringing it back upwards again, and it goes onto the conveyors and we're rich. We're back making money again. The hardest part is trying not to push the dirt under the conveyors. All things considered, I'm surprised this works at all. So I figure we might as well get really stupid with things at this point. Because I do have a nice little sort of mine thing going on here. So if I can just get down there and mine up some of the gray stuff and just push it directly onto the conveyor right there, all the better. Because this should actually be really good for mining. Whatever's happening, the game isn't loving it that much, I know. But I mean, we definitely got some ore. So if I could hopefully just get it onto the conveyors. Will that get it on there? That might not get it on there. The ramp might be a little bit... Well, we got some of it on there. The ramp's perhaps a little bit better on this side. So let's get up there nice and tall. We just got to get above the bars. And there we go. Perfect. Making money. This is how we do it. This is definitely right out of the operator's playbook too. And conveyors can only take ore so fast. I wish I knew that before. I definitely am making money. The little bit that does make it onto the conveyors is worth a lot. But I think we probably concluded that I am in fact the perfect miner and this is the perfect mine. Just don't look too closely.